man, day 75 of the 75 hard. That's it's pretty cool. If you've made it this far, if you've done it already, or whether you're in the midst of doing it right now and you're having those moments of doubts and uncertainty, and you wanna that voice in your head, that that bitch voice, it's loud. Don't give in. I promise you. I just had a moment right now, and I wanted to film this because I actually got choked up just thinking about my journey so far, because a lot of us, we get started for the fitness aspect. We know it's not a challenge, like a fitness challenge, but we get started because we want to lose weight or whatever our fitness goals are. I know for me personally, I did it. I got started because I heard the podcast that Andy Frisella did on just breaking it down. And after I read the article, and then I listened to the podcast, and I was reading it, and I was already thinking about the modifications I was gonna make the night before I started. I literally heard about it at like 8:39 p.m. the night before I started, and I started the next day. But I was reading the little article, and I'm just giving you guys this for context, because I literally was thinking the exact same thing a lot of people do in the beginning, is trying to make modifications before you get started. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do 2 workouts. I don't know about this. Maybe I'll take this out. And then I listened to the podcast, and it was a game changer. He was like, I already know all y'all. Like, you're going to start thinking of ways that you can tweak, the program so that's convenient. And, like, that's the whole purpose of this, is to be hard, is you have to do everything on the list, and otherwise it doesn't count. And the whole purpose is to, like, for me, like, I started this because I wanted to build discipline in my life. He said, I can almost guarantee you that by the end of this, you will have, exponential self-confidence, self-respect, self-worth, self-belief, mental toughness, and discipline in yourself. And I said, that's what I want. That's what I need that in my life. And so I look back over the last 75 days. It's about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, day 75 for me, so it's still the morning. Crushed my first workout, did a hike, all that good stuff. I'm on to my other stuff now, but just looking back, I see that this was such a foundation. And I think the biggest thing, everyone's been asking me, what's your takeaways, so far with everything. And I think the biggest takeaway I could share is that it doesn't stop at 75 days. It's a foundation. It's a new way of being and living, and it's become an embedded lifestyle in the best way possible. I don't even recognize myself. I tell everybody this. I don't even recognize the person that I was 2 months ago, 75 days ago. I was a sad, lost, depressed little girl, just being serious and just being real. And I think that's what I love the most about this whole thing, is it exposes you. And most people don't want to be on that path of exposure of themselves because it's painful and it hurts and it stings and all the above. And that's why everybody, including myself, we stay in the same spot for days, which turn into weeks, which turn into months, which turn into years and decades, and we look back at our life. I'm only 26, so I only got a quarter century under my belt, but we look back, and I see this in other relationships that I have, and they tell me, looking back, and it's just like, man, if I could have done this different, or if I could have taken that opportunity, or executed here, or just stay consistent with this, or whatever. I look at that and I say, I don't want to be in that position at all. So for me, it was mostly about the self-discipline and building the proper habits to create a foundation for myself that now I can build on. Now I can continue to, break new levels of awareness, because now I'm aware of the realizations and the breakthroughs that I can have by implementing the right actions, and the right, ways of being, the proper attitude that comes with it. And I think something that Andy said, and it really has started to resonate with me these last few weeks of the 75 hard, because I think midway through, you get this monotony. You start to realize like how monotonous and mundane the things that you're doing every day are. And that's, that's grit, like that's fortitude, that's like being aware of it and accepting it, like, you know what I mean? Like once you, like if you can't accept the monotony, you're not gonna make it. You're not. And you're gonna stop after 75 days, and you're probably gonna go back to the person that you were. And I think I recognize that because I listen to Andy's podcast almost every single day without fail. And it really keeps me in check because I can learn from a guy who has, 2 decades of experience ahead of me, and he can cut my learning curve in half when it comes to my mindset. So I think about that, and he shares a lot of different things, but I think something throughout this is really understanding, the execution part. Doing the thing that you said you were going to do long after that feeling you said it in has left you. That's commitment, right? And it's that consistency. I see so many people, I'm sharing this as a documentation of like my afterthoughts, in the spur of the moment, how I was feeling, and wanting to kind of just document this, and hopefully it can help somebody, whether you're doing the 75 hard or not. You've just been following my journey, and maybe it sparks something in you to, get real with your situation. Transparency was huge for me. As soon as I got real and transparent with who I was actually being, cutting the bullshit, just going right to, all right, Abby, this is where you're really, really sucking in life. What are you going to do about it? Who do you need to be to get different results? Starts there, not with what you're doing, but with who you're being, okay? But I want to bring it back to this execution part. Being able to execute even if you don't feel like it, even if it's inconvenient, because that's the part that really matters. Most people don't realize that. I didn't realize that. The details matter. The details matter when nobody's watching. Like what you do in private, I know it's a really cliche saying, but it's so damn true. Like all these quotes and stuff that we hear, they're so relevant. They're not relevant when you just hear them. They're only relevant when you're in the moment experiencing that quote or that cliche. And so recognizing, when you're going through your path, when you're going through your journey, it doesn't matter like what you feel or how you feel in that moment. You have to continue. So it's building those proper habits so that, no matter what happens in your life, you have that foundation. You have that mental toughness and that fortitude and that grit, the understanding and that acceptance of like what this really is, so that you can keep your pursuit consistent. Most people don't stay consistent, and I know this from personal experience because I wasn't consistent, and I watched everybody that started on the journey around the same time as me, and business and other areas, continue to produce and move forward. And I was staying stagnant, and I didn't have self-belief, and it was because I wasn't staying consistent on certain things, and I had to go through my process, and it's okay. Everybody has their own process, and I'm grateful for, everything and how it panned out, because I think it's brought me to where I am today, and I'm blessed and grateful for that. But it's exciting to know that I've built something for myself, and it wasn't out of spite, or it wasn't trying to prove to somebody. It was really to prove to myself. And I wake up every single day, with this fire. And not every day is like this, but I have this mentality of I need to prove something to myself. And I take my life seriously. I think I've really been able to take myself and my time very, very seriously and value that and my energy. Like if you've really starting to get to know me, and maybe you've been my friend, or we've had a relationship prior to me doing the 75 hard to now, I think you'd be able to see the shift in the way that I handle myself and I handle things and people, because I just don't tolerate excuses or bullshit, because I don't tolerate that for me. I think whatever you tolerate from others, you tolerate from yourself. And I tolerated like all of it, excuses and apathy and laziness and whatever else. And I say this all the time, and I just learned this from reading 10 pages a day. I never used to do that. I'd buy all these books and never touch them. Now, like I just finished today, it's crazy, I just finished my 3rd book this entire 75 days. And I never used to read. Crazy. But it's brought me so much empowerment when I can take control of my life and become self-sufficient, take personal responsibility and accountability. So I probably have a million other thoughts. I just wanted to put this together. I'll probably put this on my YouTube, and I'll probably do like a Q&A like live or on my Facebook or Instagram. I know I've gotten a lot of people to text me about this, and if I can share some light from my journey and share it with you, and maybe it helps in some way, shape, or form, even if you just take one nugget from this whole thing. And I shift the way that you think and believe in yourself, because I think at the end of the day, something that I also realized and had a breakthrough with is, you can have anything you desire in your life, pretty much, as long as you believe that you can do it, you believe that you're worthy of it, okay, and you're also willing to work for it. And before this, I was not. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my self-worth. I had really shitty, trash self-esteem, always comparing myself, just really, really bad. And now I feel so at peace, and I think that's the most freeing thing is, you're only as free as you think you are, as you believe you are, and what you're willing to do to create that freedom for yourself. And so many people associate freedom with, the amount of money that you have. Money does give you options. It's definitely right up there with oxygen. But man, if you don't love yourself, if you don't take care of you, if you don't value your self-worth and your time, you don't even respect yourself or bet on yourself to make the proper decisions consistently, even when you have the money, it's not going to matter. If you don't have the right relationships, people in your circle, in your corner, it's not going to matter. I realized it really, this is the last thing I'll say and I'll wrap it up. Something that I did take away from this is recognizing what's really important in my life. I just don't have time for bullshit. My time is so valuable. It's like every day is mapped out to a T. And I recognize at the end of my life, we don't know when that is, but what's really going to matter, what I'm going to ask myself is, what's really important. And I really thought about it, and I did a lot of research and reading throughout this journey, and a lot of just natural breakthroughs and realizations. But it's going to be, my health, which I'm taking very seriously, which I'm excited about and very grateful for. It's going to be my relationships. Quality of relationships determine the quality of your life, for sure. And I can definitely say right now I have some of the best friendships and support and mentors and leaders in my life and for my family, for sure. Very, very grateful for that. Super blessed. And the last part is what you can pass on to others. So me doing these videos and documenting my journey is just a way for me to obviously be able to look back on my growth and my development, but really be able to pass on something to somebody else in some way, shape, or form, and just continue that, I guess, legacy if you want. But I look at it as, what can I pass on? When I pass, what am I passing on? So hopefully you guys got something from this. I know this journey was absolutely worth it, and if you've never done it, 75 Hard, by the way, not trying to be the plug for it, but it is free. But your work ethic and the time that you're going to put in to really dedicate and build this foundation for yourself is not, but it is priceless. So you should do it. You should finish it if you're in the midst. Don't quit. And even if you have a bad day, get back up and reset for tomorrow. So appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for the journey with my insight, my contacts behind the scenes, and my come up, and documenting, what's next for me and how maybe that can help you guys. So peace and love always. Talk to y'all soon.